You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so why try to build a business without one? Grow your contracting business and grow your mind with Growth Mindset Monday.
Welcome back to Mindset Monday. Maybe one day I'll have like some guy with like those really deep voices. He'll be like the intro guy. Or maybe I'll hire a hype guy, right? And he'll get on stage and get everybody like clapping and cheering and all excited. Well, guess what? Today you just get me. So welcome back to Mindset Monday. I am your host, Garrett Bake, the founder of the American Contractor Network, as well as the Build Pro community program and all the other fun things we're doing with that right now. In fact, honestly, we're kind of going through a rebrand. Technically, it's a DBA, but we're going through a rebrand. It's way easier to say Build Pro than it is American Contractor Network. Plus, let's be real, my email is like half the size it was before. But it's another beautiful Monday. Some of you guys had a busy, productive weekend. Some of you guys just sat around and watched football. Some of you guys got to play Mr. Mom. But regardless of what you did this weekend, we're back at it today. I had to grab my pen. I dropped it there. So you guys know the drill. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name and your business name, and we'll give you the good old shout out. We've got Jitterbug Home Services, Logan, out of Central Florida. Welcome to the show. Matt Beckel with Beckel Electric. Welcome to the show, my friend. Now, I want to share a funny story with you guys. Funny, but not funny. On Friday, I went by one of the jobs that we're working right now. And so for those that don't know, we've started a commercial construction management company about 6 months ago. And we're currently doing a core and shell building, which is basically just the outside of the building. The tenants will come back later and do what they call the tenant improvements, right? Create the space the way that they want it built. Well, for this particular project, we are handling the framing and then the drywall and paint, but that's just a mechanical room. So not a huge, drywall and paint project, but definitely a large framing project. So we show up on Friday morning, fully expecting to have a spot for the materials, right? And fully expecting the concrete guys to be done, backfilled, waterproofed, and everything, and ready for us to go. Instead, we show up Friday, and I'll show you a picture so you can giggle with me. This is what we see. So you can kind of see there that there's concrete and there's rebar. And then there's concrete and rebar that are not attached to the actual footing of the building, right? That, my friends, is what you call a problem. Well, what ended up happening is the concrete guys poured the concrete incorrectly, right? So they needed to now cut out. And so they're cutting out with a saw. The problem is, while they were cutting out with the saw, they were also cutting out the anchor bolts that we need to frame the building. More on that later. But let me tell you about the job itself, okay? The job itself is a $300,000 framing job, which is not a small framing job, right? It's a decent-sized framing job. Now, how did we get that framing job? Well, my friends, that leads us to today's topic, and I'm going to share that with you. We've got David with Elevate Plumbing. Welcome to the show. And then Orlando Ramirez, PGO Handyman, present and accounted for. Welcome to the show. So how is it that we went about landing this job, right? Because today, what I really want to talk to you guys about is how to land bigger jobs without necessarily lowering your price. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's not that the larger the job is, the less you charge. That's not the way the game works. But there are ways to work the game, if you will. So let me just break it down for you at a very high level. If you're working with homeowners, your margins are going to be pretty good. And what do I mean by that? I mean, that's probably service type activity. So either you're replacing a door or putting in a new hot water heater or rewiring a ceiling fan or redoing the roofs, right? Those type of jobs are going to be quick jobs and they're going to be good margin jobs, right? Working directly with homeowners. Then we got working service type activities on commercial jobs, multifamily residential, industrial, right? Those kind of jobs. Those are also really good paying jobs if you find the right ones. Now, what doesn't pay good? Working with home builders. Not all home builders, just the production home builders. So these are guys that are building, let's call it 25 plus homes a year, right? You get into that space, you're going to make your money on the quantity of jobs that you're doing, not on the margin per job. Okay. So understand the difference in the game that you're playing. Now, as we go into the custom world of home building, yes, also good margins. And then the higher end, the custom home, the better the margin there as well. So depending on what your business model is, and I know some of you guys are in multiple areas of work, you need to understand where I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck, right? So today I want to share with you not just how we landed this $300,000 framing job, but also how we plan to land about $2 million worth of work in the next, let's call it 6 months or so. Now, I'm not saying that for any other reason than I want you to know our process. How is it that we're doing it and how is it working for us, right? So let's get down into it. When it comes to pricing, most contractors think that in order to land larger jobs, they need to slash their prices, right? But you don't get bigger jobs by being cheaper. You get them by being better, clearer, and more professional, okay? Now, think about it this way. If you're going to do a job, and by the way, I'd love to hear from each of you if you want to drop in the comments, what's the largest job you've ever done, dollar-wise? Throw that dollar sign in the comments. Listen, and we're not here to judge, right? If you're relatively new and your biggest job is $10,000, great, cool. Like you should be more than happy with that one. Okay. If your largest job is bigger than that, great. Like our biggest jobs to date is 300,000. We're looking at another job that could be 700,000, right? So like we're looking. So go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Daniel, Mr. Reliable, we got him in here. Okay, Jitterbug, 26K, awesome. Daniel, we've got 150 storefront. That's good. Alex, 27,350, great. So you can see there's a spread around here, okay? Here's what I want you to understand. First of all, there's no wrong way to run a business other than not profitably, okay? So we're just going to assume you're running your business profitably. There's no wrong way to run a business other than if you're not making money, okay? So the first thing, and this is not a marketing conversation, but I'm going to assume we've had the marketing conversation to say, listen, you already know who you're going to work with. Okay. You already know you want to focus on homeowners, or you want to work, new build residential, or you want to work custom homes, or you're working commercial TI projects, whatever it is. Okay. So we're going to assume that. We've got Orlando, $78. Cool, man. Just getting started. Love it. Motivated laborers. We got 12K this summer in Ithaca. Awesome. Matt Beckel, 7K. And then we've got Thomas, 5.7 million. Thomas, by the way, if you guys don't know, that is a whole home. So he's a GC. Great, right? So you can see the spread. We have everything from $78 to $5.7 million. And there's nothing wrong with anything in between, right? But this is what I want you to understand. You're not going to get bigger jobs by charging less. That's not what this game is about. Okay. Now I've got a bunch of examples I'm going to give you in a short period of time. Okay. We have clients that have worked large commercial projects like baseball stadiums and things like that, apartment complexes. And the pricing for them stays the same, right? In other words, they don't charge less because the quantity increased, right? We all like to think, oh, well, if I buy at Costco, I'll save money because I'm buying quote unquote in bulk. Okay. If you're doing that for a production home builder like Edge Homes or Ivory Homes or all the national home builders that they got out there, I can't think of them all right now, KB Homes, right? If you're working for those guys, your margins are going to be thin. Why? Because they just beat you up. That's the game that they play, right? You guys, if you're playing that game, great. You're going to have fun with that. But for the custom ones, you need to be comfortable charging what you're worth. Okay. Because, for example, this $300,000 framing job, why did we get this job? Well, we got this job not because we were the only ones that could do the framing. And honestly, we didn't get it because we were the cheapest. We got it because one was the relationship. Okay. But two was our ability to do quality work and do it in the timeline that it needed to be done in. Notice I didn't say pricing. We were not the cheapest. I didn't go to the GC and go, hey man, if you give us this job, we can knock another 15, 20 grand off this thing. I didn't do that, right? What I said is, hey, what's your timeline? Okay, what's your budget? Okay, you want it done right the first time? All right, cool. Here you go. We can get it done. Here's the price, right? And off we went, right? So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get started on framing this week. But I want you to know that, like, listen, your job is not to be a charity, right? And it's not that you're an employee working an hourly rate. We want you to land bigger jobs. And so remember, bigger clients don't choose the cheapest. They choose what we like to call the safest bet. Okay. And you need to become that safest bet. They choose value. Okay. They choose the people that they trust. Okay. Listen to this. Okay. And I want you to hammer this into your head. Price only matters when value is unclear. Price only matters when value is unclear. We got Daniel who says, we focus on residential home builders, mostly custom with some production to fill in the gaps, usually run in 60 to 65 gross, shooting for a net profit of 20%. A lot of good numbers in there, Daniel. And I know your language and I know exactly what you're talking about, but listen, I want the rest of you to see this. Okay. He knows that custom home builders are his bread and butter, right? That's where he's going to make his dollars. Now, when things slow down a little bit, which because of season or, building permits or whatever, sometimes things slow down. He fills in the gaps with production builders. He knows he's not going to make a ton of money on those production jobs, but he keeps his guys busy, keeps them employed, and he goes out and focuses on landing the next custom job. Alex says, that's where I struggle, is trying to ask for what I know I'm worth and the quality I provide. Alex, I know you're relatively new in this game. Like, it is a game and it takes time, right? If I was to ask Thomas, like, hey, how many years were you in the game before you landed that $5.7 million job? I'm going to guarantee he's going to say at least 10 years, right? It took a while to get to that point. Every guy that I know that's doing multiple millions of dollars right now did not stumble across it in year one. Frankly, probably didn't even get it in year two. It took some time. It took some training. It took some, let me build my resume. Let me build my relationships. Let me build the value that I bring to the market. And now I can comfortably sit in front of somebody and have that conversation, right? So again, it's going to take time to get to that point. So let's look at this. Okay. Number one, presentation, right? I just had a conversation with a guy that runs GAF, but their solar division. Now, for those of you that don't know, GAF is a provider of roofing products and supplies, and they started a solar shingle division. Like, legit, they make solar shingles. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's really cool too. So he runs their national operation. Well, he reaches out to me and he's like, hey, I'd love for you to come in and have a conversation with my area managers, basically my service managers, and talk about like running subs, which for them, the subs are the roofers and the electricians that they use. So mind you, I came recommended because of the years of me doing this exact thing, right? And so now when I send him a presentation that says, this is who we are and this is what we do, I've worked with 750 plus contractors nationwide. Hey, our contractors last year, our clients generated over $100 million, bam, 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 bam. And I can lay all these things out because it's the truth, right? I've got the body of work, as they like to say, right? So when you're approaching some opportunity in front of you and you have an opportunity to make or land a high paying job, I want you to know that you got to be more professional about this, right? The days of being the guy that rolls up in like dirty jeans with holes in them and, the shirt that's got sweat stains in the pit, like you want to land some high paying jobs, then act like you deserve those high paying jobs, right? Like if somebody walks into my house and they look like they just walked out of, the sewer, like why would I want to hire that guy? No, I want to hire the guy that looks good, smells good, right? And he's got his stuff in order. He's got a professional presentation, right? He understands his numbers. He's got a detailed scope of work, right? His proposal and everything is on brand. He's got case studies. He's got testimonials. That's the guy I want to hire, right? Think about you right now. When you approach a job or a potential job, how do you show up? Right? Do you show up like you deserve it, like you belong there? Do you show up like you've been there for years? Do you show up like you know what you're talking about? Or are you just showing up like, well, I can do this job. Really? Show me. And you're like, well, my cousin did this job like 3 years ago and I helped him with it. Not going to work. Not going to work. Okay. Daniel says, yeah, 14 or 15 here, 20 years in business, quote unquote, overnight success. I love it. Right. Orlando says education is more important, right? Yeah, education, right? But that's part of your presentation, right? You're not selling them, you're showing them. You're showing them, but showing them through your education. So the thing that you can think about this week is what can I do this week to help increase the level of my presentation, right? Maybe you take an extra 10 minutes and you make a professional presentation. Maybe you carry an extra shirt with deodorant, you stinky fools, in your truck so that when you go do a bid or a proposal or an estimate, you don't look like a complete scrub, right? But what is it for you? What is it for you that's going to help you get to that next level? The next thing, show me, don't tell me. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. When we have a one-on-one meeting with a potential client, I got 2 this afternoon. When we have a meeting with a potential client, I don't tell them what we can do for them. Oh, we can help you make more money. We can help you get more organized. We can help you implement a system so that you understand your gross and your net profit margin. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay. What I do is I show them. I ask them specifics about their business. I have a big whiteboard here, right? I draw it out and I'm like, look, this is what you need and this is why you need it. Okay. So I'm showing them what they need, not telling them what they need. Okay. Bigger clients want to reduce risk. They're looking for proof. Prior to anybody ever having a conversation with us, we sent them a video. It's a 2.5-minute video. This is who we are. And inside of there, a whole bunch of testimonials. Okay. People want to trust you, but give them an opportunity to trust you, right? They don't buy potential. Not in this space. People are not going to buy your potential. They're going to buy your proof, right? Next thing, you want bigger projects. You're going to have to invest in what it's going to take to get and complete those bigger projects. Our framing contractor, one of the framing contractors that we use, we wanted him to bid on a 4-story apartment complex. 4-story, I think it was 80 some odd units, right? And he came up with a number that was frankly $400,000 less than what everybody else was going to charge, all the other framing bids, right? And so when the GC is like, hey, how come you guys are charging so little? And, we have a little conversation. He goes, you know what that tells me? That tells me your framer doesn't know what he's doing. That stung. It stung, but it was true, right? He'd never done a job that large. And so he didn't understand what it was going to take. It's not just 2x4s and man hours. Now you're looking at, hey, we need safety harnesses. Okay, now we need cranes. Okay, do we need any scaffolding, right? All these lifts. You're going to need all of these different things involved in more than just framing a house or a basement, right? And he didn't understand that and he didn't know that. So he wasn't going to get the job. It's pretty simple for somebody who has experience to sniff that out, right? Bigger projects equal bigger risk for the clients. Remember, they don't want more chaos. What they want is more control. And so more systems, more processes, more control. Can you bring that to the table? This particular project that I just showed you, right? This framing project that about made me want to turn over my sleep. I look at this and I'm like, I called the GC. I sent a couple pictures and I sent them to the GC. I'm like, hey man, next time, let our guys handle it. Because I got a concrete crew that's like clockwork. They're not the cheapest, but they do amazing work and they do it right the first time. But that gives me an opportunity to prep for the next job, right? Because I have the team in place that can handle that. So for you, if you want to land larger projects, okay, think about what the next step or next level up would be for you. It's not going to be going from a $50 project to a $500,000 project, or it's not going to be going from a $500,000 project to a $5 million project, right? Think about the next step and what's right for you, because you can ruin your reputation way faster than it's going to take to create it. Again, where are you at right now in your business and what makes sense for you? Maybe you're just working with homeowners right now. Great. What's something additional you could offer homeowners that could help you take it from a $500 price tag to a $2,000 price tag, right? Slowly and surely growing. I'm telling you right now, the thing that gets most contractors stuck, mind you, I've worked with hundreds of them now. I'm waiting to hit that 1,000 points so I can say that, but let's call it about 750 right now. The thing that gets in their way more than anything else is not their ability to do the work. It's their organization. It's their communication. It's their ability to show that they can handle these bigger jobs. Because as you and I both know, rarely do they ever go according to plan. So if there's going to be something for you to take away from this conversation, here's what I want you to take away. In order for you to land bigger jobs, number one, you need to realize that they're not after price. They're not. Now, you can't rip them off. I think we know that. But they're not after price. Okay. What are they after? Quality, trust, communication, and timeliness. That's what they're after. If you can become that person, yes, you can start to land larger jobs. So as we start to wrap this thing up, I want you to think, what's one thing that I can do this week that would help me land a larger job? Is it create a more professional presentation? Is it dress and present myself more professionally? Is it figure out how in my presentation, say with a homeowner, that yes, maybe I came to fix a drain and it's, $50. How can I do a free whole home assessment and realize that their outside faucet is leaking, that they need to replace their water heater, that whatever the thing needs to happen. And now you took a $50 price tag to $500 or more, right? I need to figure out how I can upsell my services. Is it maybe I need to show them that I have proof of my ability to land these larger jobs or do these larger jobs, right? But whatever it is for you, understand that this is a game of consistency. It's a game of consistency. And as much as we want to do it overnight, trust me, I'm no different than you. As much as we want to do it overnight, it ain't going to happen overnight, right? It's going to take time. It's going to take time. So commit to being willing to do what it takes to land those larger jobs, right? Which is an investment in you, an investment in your people, an investment in your processes and your systems. And trust me, you will get there. All right. That's all we got for you today. You guys know what time it is. It's time for you to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.